Alright guys, welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be talking about hot and cold therapy and how it relates to your metabolism. So this is going to be a fun one, so definitely stick around. Alright, cool. So we're going to be talking about hot and cold therapy. This is something that I've been experimenting with on my life for such a long period of time now. So I would say maybe 3 years, and it's been revolutionary for me personally. So hopefully it makes sense to you, and then you see some nuggets that you can leverage for yourself and then take advantage of it. So let's start off by just again going to ChatGPT. We're going to keep a very standard experience for everyone, so that way everyone understands how these videos operate. So we talk about exactly what the topic is going to be. We look into what AI has to say about it, and then we look into our own research, and then we eventually have a little bit of exploration and then move on with it. So hopefully that makes sense. So now looking at this ChatGPT hot and cold therapy, let's figure out what it is, and we'll do a quick readout. So let's see. Hot and cold therapy, also known as thermotherapy and cryotherapy respectively, is a treatment method that uses temperature changes to help alleviate pain, inflammation, and muscle soreness. Hot therapy can be applied in the form of heat packs, hot water bottles, or hot baths, and is typically used to relax tight muscles and improve I can see why, and improve blood flow. Cold therapy can be applied using ice packs, cold compresses, or cold baths, and is typically used to reduce inflammation and numb pain. Both hot and cold therapy can be effective for treating a variety of conditions, including injuries, chronic pain, and muscle soreness. But it's important to use the appropriate type of therapy for the specific condition being treated. Okay, with that being said, let's just quickly unpack this for most people that maybe don't understand what they just read, because there's a lot of words in there that will not make sense. So this is where I come in, right? So now I want to help you understand it in the most simplistic possible as ever. If you were to go to the kitchen sink or the bathroom sink and you turn on, there's two sections of water. There's one for hot, one for cold. I think everybody understands that concept, right? So hot is, there's degrees of hot. How hot do you want to go? Do you want to go a little hot to really, really hot, like boiling hot? And then there's cold, there's degrees where it's like, room temperature, and then all the way to like ice cold. Okay, so those are the two different extremes within the different paradigms of hot and cold. And so what happens is your body is actually a temperature as well. Your body is a chemical liquid being, and so you have a temperature gradient within it. So if I were to take a thermometer, put it inside your mouth right now, you will be 98.6 usually. That's usually the average. That's the temperature you are, 98.6 Fahrenheit degrees centigrade, whatever the terminology is. Now, hot and cold is relative to your temperature. So if your temperature is 98.6, then anything below 98.6 will be cold to you. Anything above 98.6 would be hot to you. And so what happens is there's different parts of your body depending on what the situation is. So as they were saying here, improve blood flow. What does that mean? That means think of yourself going to a sauna, right? When you go into a sauna, what's happening? The room is hotter than you are. So what is that making you do? Is making you sweat. It's making your blood vessels dilate so then you can actually perspirate. And so we really want to consider that when we're actually thinking about the hot therapy. So if you have any condition that needs more blood flow, so what I think about blood flow is anytime I get hurt, I want more blood flow in that area so I can get the blood pumping and remove all the waste products of the repairs. So always think about anything that needs dilation of your blood vessels. Blood flow really, really comes into here. Anything that requires a blood flow dilation, think of hot therapies. Cold is constriction, cold is contracting, anything that requires the blood vessels to contract. So at the end of the day, hot and cold therapy is really just about your blood flow. How do we want to improve your blood flow in certain locations? So we can direct the way our body interacts based on the physiology that it normally operates with, the anatomical forms that exist within itself. So hot and cold. So now cold is amazing for situations where you want to go ahead and like improve skin quality, improve immunity, because what's happening when it shrivels up, it's also shriveling up the skin and the stuff within the skin as well. The lymph system operates within that realm. When it does, it also gets contracted and relaxes, contracts and relaxes, and allows the immune cells, the fluid, the milky fluid to travel to the different areas within your lymphatic system. So we can improve that. So whenever you think cold therapy, think of more like healing and more immunity related. It's amazing, as you can see, for like including injuries and muscle soreness, what it really does. And I'm gonna give you an amazing experience that I've been doing for a while. So many of you do not know, but I have a situation where my lower back always gives out because I've technically trained it in a negative pathological way for a long time, and as a result of that, it's really hard for me to go all the way and touch my toes naturally. And so when I do my cold therapy in the morning, when I take that cold shower, I force myself to actually bend forward and just before the cold actually starts, I force myself to actually try to touch my toes. If I can't touch it, then I obviously know that I'm having a lot of restriction in that area. And so what I do is actually, once I get to that position, I turn on the cold water, and that cold water literally stings the crap out of that area to a point where it almost feels like it's giving it more energy. And so then it gives me that drive. I guess epinephrine, adrenaline kicks in, and it pushes me, and I'm able to touch my toes. And it's been fascinating to observe this and experience this, because even right now, if I were to try to do it, I wouldn't be able to do it, because again, I need that extra energy that comes. So what I'm trying to be is a person that touches their toes. That's the type of individual I'm trying to be, so that way it doesn't really matter what I have to do, I will always touch my toes. So that's a little segue, but coming back in here, let's talk about what does that actually look like, right? So hot and cold therapy, so I already typed it in for us, and as you can see, these are different types of search that comes up from Google. We're just gonna stick to the basics. Oops. And most people are very familiar with the whole like Wim Hof and ice baths and everything, which is great, which is great. So yeah, you can take a look at what they're showing you. But for your benefits, for everyone in alpha, your benefit is that you want to leverage this to improve your immunity, so you actually don't get sick, so you can fight off any bugs that come your way. Like my kids have been sick for the last like few weeks, and every time they come, like they're still freaking coughing, but I'm not, because I've trained myself to be exposed to different types of way. Okay, with that being said, guys, let's talk about now what are the benefits to metabolism, right? So we talked about what is hot therapy, what is cold therapy, how I relate to it, how it's beneficial to you. So you obviously are now curious or interested, and you might possibly try it out right after this video, or maybe watch this video while you're doing it, which will be amazing, because you'll see and you'll feel the power of it as well. So now metabolism. So what are we trying to do, right? So whenever we put stress on a system, the system needs to figure out how to actually operate in the most optimal way. So the system's gonna be like, all right, so if there's a lot of hot like environment, like a sauna, we'll use a sauna as an example. If you're in that sauna, your body's now releasing fluids, so your body is now going to be thinking, how do I preserve the fluids within myself? So metabolism is going to be making sure that you don't get dehydrated, because once you get dehydrated, we have a huge problem. When the system starts getting dry, then a lot of connections start dying, so we need to be extremely hydrated. And this brings up another conversation with water, how important it is. So if you are interested in learning more about water, definitely comment below saying water with a capital, so that way I know that we can make a video about it in the future, because it's so vital. Anyways, back to the point, your metabolism. So if you're in that situation, your metabolism is going to increase as well, because you need more energy, you need more resources to actually keep you in that state. So your metabolism is going to increase, and it's going to increase your metabolism, and which is great, because if you already have a lot going on. So this is a perfect time to talk about a concept, the imagery that I've created that really helps people understand what is really happening inside their body. Assume you're overweight. Assume you have a lot more fat inside you than you normally should have or want to have. So I want you to imagine yourself going to the sauna. So that right there, that act, you physically going into a sauna, it's like, think of when you go to like Boston Market or any of those markets that sell rotisserie chickens, right? Where are all those chickens located? They're inside this box, and within this box, there's heat coming, and they're just rotating. As they're rotating, the fat within them is just melting away. Do you understand that imagery? I need you to understand that imagery, because that's exactly what happens to you when you're in the sauna. Of course, if you were to do a little bit of activity, that would be a lot better, but if you're just going to be sitting there, you're not going to be burning as much. But this is why those hot yoga sessions or hot any cycling sessions or whatever is amazing. You burn fat at such an exponential rate. But then we have a situation with the skin that happens, which can be talked about in another video if you guys are interested, because the skin gets very loose and saggy, and most people don't want to see that, and most people don't want to experience that. And that's another insecurity that develops, because like they just did all that hard work, but now they have a new insecurity, a new psychological problem. But that's another topic. So what we want to think about is when you do hot therapy, you can definitely leverage it to burn fat right there, and your metabolism will increase because you'll want to eat more and more healthy foods after that, because it's just going to be natural because you want to stick to that. And then cold therapy is amazing because when you are undergoing cold therapy, you go and undergo something like endothermic. I don't know what the term is, exothermic or endothermic, but you actually undergo brown fat. That's what I was trying to get at. The brown fat starts developing because it needs to train your body. So the metabolism changes to train your body to preserve only the strongest types of fats within you. So all other types of fats has to be mobilized to give you more energy, because you're like really, really cold and you need to start generating heat, because the external temperature is so damn cold. You need to generate heat, fuel, fire. And that's when you have this endogenic, I don't know what the term is, but it's one of those terms that just creates a fire within you, and it's an amazing experience as well. Okay, cool. Hopefully that made sense to you. Hot and cold therapy is amazing. It's 100% I approve of it, and I do it all the time, and I'm only going to be pushing it because leverage what's already available. You don't need to go ahead and reinvent the wheel. We've been living for a very, very long time, and we want to make sure that we have the use case for it to keep our bodies the best way possible. With that being said, guys, I really hope that you found value in this video. Again, I create these videos out of love, to be honest with you, because I feel like when I share this with you and you apply it to yourself and you benefit, I think we both benefit, not right or wrong. So with that being said, definitely subscribe, comment, like the video. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm gone.